Good evening and welcome to Pandora's Box. I'm your host, Christopher Marston, and we have our guest today, Bob Koff and Robert Sarkissian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Before we begin, I want to do a trigger warning for all you scaredy cats out there. If you need a safe space, you better go find it now. And if you're a snowflake, you might melt. So you have a chance to navigate away from this channel right here. And if you're into cancel culture, go cancel something else. Just my suggestion. So we're going to delve into it right now. This is Pandora's Box. So if anybody doesn't know the Greek mythology of Pandora's Box, everybody's got it completely wrong. Pandora's Box, what they know is like Pandora had a box that Zeus gave her, and her lover went away, and she couldn't help herself but to open it, and the evil of the world was unleashed. And in her horror, she shut the box, and all the evil was out. But what most people don't realize is that was stuck at the bottom, was left in the box, was human hope. Mm. And boy, is there ever a time that we need to unleash some human hope. And one thing that's for sure and everyone gets is that we need to have conversations. We need to deal with what's real. We're not dealing with what's real. We need to just be authentic humans, love each other. And that starts with just being real about it. Because what you see and what you see in your life experiences, what I see, don't have to be wrong. They just are what they are. And we need to hear each other. No matter what skin color, no matter what perception, political party, whatever it is. So we're here to do that. Are you ready?
Yes. We're ready.
Let's open the box.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's a fancy box.
It's a fancy red box. See, we gotta open the can of worms. Gotta open the can of worms here.
It's not as nice as the can opener my wife has.
It doesn't work so well, but so we're gonna open Pandora's box. Fuck the can of worms.
All right.
Okay, good. So what do we got in here? You want to pick the first? There's a bunch of stuff in the box. Lots of evil. Lots of evil there. Knows.
They didn't escape?
Yeah, what do you got?
This one.
All right, what's it say?
Want me to read it or you want to read it?
You want me to read it?
Go for it.
All right. COVID-19 silver linings.
Ooh.
All right, silver linings. I don't even know what that means, so we're gonna delve in. What does it mean?
So,
like the good side?
Yeah, I mean, is anything good coming of this? Sorry, we're going to have to start up with an
okay,
up
got
one.
it. All right. We're not drunk yet.
No.
But we are having a 23-year-old Cabernet Sauvignon from Chalk Hill. So cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Genatsnit to my Armenian audience.
Exactly. Thank you. And to the Jewish audience, bagels.
Bagels, there you go.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, that's right. Exactly. It didn't come to me in time. Have a Nagila or something.
You have a Nagila. I don't want one.
Yes, that's right. All right. We'll have a whatever.
Okay.
Silver linings.
So, yeah, I mean, silver linings, my thought was, there's all sorts of negatives that I'm sure, going to get around to griping about.
Yeah, sure.
But there's also, I think, some silver linings that have come about. So just, for example, from a business point of view and from a human personal point of view. So from the business point of view, I no longer am limited geographically to who I can reach out to as potential clients. I mean, who cares? Matter of fact, I just took on a new client and I was introducing them to an attorney and the attorney asked, where are they? And I said, I don't know. So.
Doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. I don't have to drive to them. They don't have to drive to me. It's all here.
So people might realize they didn't have to travel as much.
Yeah.
They can spend more time with their
sure.
family, right?
Yep.
I mean, I got 2 little girls and I love them to death, and it's been the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
So
That's that's another silver lining.
Have they driven you at all crazy yet?
No.
No?
Nope.
Are you lying to us?
They don't squeak at ridiculously high pitches and all kinds of stuff that little girls do. They do scream a bit.
Okay.
But it bothers my wife more than it bothers me.
Why?
It's just, shit dripping. I deal with a bunch of lawyers and bankers all day long. So
You got to wipe off.
You just wipe it off. You just Teflon
It just falls off now.
It just falls off. Little girls screaming, whatever. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're gonna scream.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they're little girls. They're gonna do that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you can't I don't want them to not be who they are. I want them to be who they are.
And you get to experience it. And that was the other thing when I said, business
got
side and the personal side. The personal human side is so many people are getting reacquainted with their families.
Yeah.
It's amazing. However, somebody
They're like, what's your name?
Yeah, exactly, right? That's your personality.
Exactly right.
But somebody did say that this is really hard on people that are having affairs at work. How do you
I'm sure
deal with
that line
that?
is silver, but that's something. It's something. It's good.
So
Too
anyway,
funny.
yeah. So I mean, those are a couple silver linings.
How about you, Bob?
Yeah, no, I think that would echo the same thing. I mean, I hear it all the time, from people that say, well, yeah, but my kids are home from school. They can't go to school. They're all home. It's the first time we've all been together in X times, and we get to really spend a lot of quality time together, and it probably won't happen again, because I'm about adult kids too. I mean, kids in college and even older kids.
Yeah.
Right, and they're coming back home.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he's got grandkids now.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying it's the whole idea, and people have consistently said, in spite of all the negative things, there is one positive thing, and that is the family situation. So it's if you kind of call that a silver lining, I guess.
Well, it's one of the few things they haven't politicized yet. Let's put it that way. They politicized a virus, never thought they could do it. They pulled it off.
They're working
now,
on it.
They haven't. They are working on it. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
What
there's
do you
a
think
political
about
element. Very often you're forcing conservative parents to now share a roof with their liberal children on a
Not in my
daily,
case.
24-hour basis. Well, no, but
They're
In
not
most
allowed
stages, in most
Yeah.
states, there's a bridge you could throw them off of, but
right? You just,
there's no water.
but are you allowed
so-
to drive to it? With do you do it with or without a mask? Right?
That's right.
How come my key doesn't work?
It's a good one.
Yeah, this is a
The
Republican.
other kids are in there. How come my key's not working?
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those are some silver lining, I suppose. Getting reacquainted.
All right, is that the positive topic of the night?
I
We did that,
think we're
right?
done with positive.
We did
Let's
that.
move
All
off
right.
to
We gotta open the
negative.
box. That was a good starter. Like, I would not want to have that topic in the middle, so I'm glad we got that over with. Right?
Done.
I had to
Out of
pick
the way.
First one. Bob, come
here
on.
you go.
Bob, pop it in.
Make sure it's negative.
Here. It's negative.
I can't imagine who wrote this.
You want me to read-
Armenia.
Huh?
Armenia.
Armenia.
And?
Armenia. Azerbaijan.
Oh, who's Armenia? Oh.
And war.
Ooh.
Yeah, but okay.
So there's a big protest at the Azerbaijani embassy, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
that here in LA?
That was in Brentwood.
It was in Brentwood.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was one in Brentwood. There was one in London. There was one. I mean, in every European major city.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
so but there was like a counter protest from like a few. There's like 3 Azerbaijanis on the
Exactly. I
other
think
side
there
of the
was
corner.
5, right?
There were 5. So what? I don't even know what the hell's going on. So I can't talk intelligently about this. Like, what happened?
All right, so how far back in history do you want to go? Because this can go back to Cro-Magnon
Well,
period.
they already erased history in schools. So that's why.
Yeah,
that's why
okay.
we forgot where we've
All
come
right.
from. So like, okay.
So there's this little spit of land that is called generally Nagorno-Karabakh. All right, the Armenians call it Artsakh, and it's this beautiful piece of land. I've been to it, it's
It's like an Israeli thing, like the
Yeah.
Holy Land thing. It's just beautiful. It's like Eden.
It's like Gaza.
It really is.
yeah.
No, it's not like Gaza. Gaza looks like hell.
Well,
no, this is
I
really
don't mean
beautiful.
that. I mean the geographically.
Right. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of land. It looks more like Yosemite, right?
Okay.
And it's been historically populated by Armenians, and that right there in and of itself is a controversial statement, right? Because anybody that has Turkish background or Azeri background is going to say, no, it's been Azeri land since time immemorial. Well, the only flaw in that statement is the Azeri nation didn't exist until 1918.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, then you go back and go, no, it's actually Turkish, right? Because Azeri is just a political identity.
I get it. Everybody's a murderer that came in and murdered someone else to be a murderer.
Exactly.
I get it. Yeah.
So at some point,
So it was, yeah.
Stalin decided, you know what, let's make friends with the Turks. Let's give this land to the Azeris,
Yeah.
even though it was 92% Armenian populated.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so that was the status while the Soviet Union existed. And throughout, the Armenians said, no, we want to be a part of the Armenian part of this whole thing.
Okay.
And finally, when the Azerbaijan declared independence, this little territory itself declared independence.
Okay.
Right? Pretty exciting stuff so far. So,
Not bad.
all right. So, yeah, right? To somebody that's not into it, it's, yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to land the plane
So,
eventually.
so bottom line is these two decide. So Azeris attack the Armenians for declaring independence. Armenians fight back. The hero of the war is this Armenian guy from Fresno, born and
This is like
raised,
way
third
back
generation, 1988, 89.
Okay, 88, all right,
Yeah,
fine.
30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Armenians win the war. The thing gets stalled at a ceasefire, and now there's these constant skirmishes back and forth, and one just occurred.
It's Israeli stuff.
Yeah,
It's the
one
same
just
thing.
occurred, and so the Armenians effectively grabbed the Golan Heights. Okay?
Is that like a testicle over there? Or
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying
So
to
they said, look, this
just trying to
land,
put in
yeah,
context.
this land is
Not the gonads.
It was, yeah, right, not the gonads.
Okay, I just thought it was a
But
gonad.
you got to have gonads to do what these guys did.
Good. That's
So-
impressive.
Right. So bottom line is they grabbed some land. The Azeris were claiming, oh, we've got this invincible military because we just spent billions and billions of dollars of oil money, and that's the other piece. This land that they just fought over happens to be probably 50 miles from the oil pipelines that feed Europe.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
So there's a lot of
All right.
background to it. So that's what's going on. So now if you look at social media, Google either Azerbaijan or Armenia. I mean, not Google, but do searches within social media.
Yeah.
And you're going to find just enough venom there to go, wow.
So wait, what is it been politicized yet? Like, is like one side a Republican thing or?
Oh, absolutely.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I knew it had to be because there isn't like anything left.
So Trump,
like, I don't even know. So like,
Trump's got a tower, a hotel that was in the process of being built in Baku, for whatever reason got mothballed, and so Trump's a huge supporter of Azerbaijan. So there's some realpolitik reasons for the U.S. to support Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Right, oil's flowing out of there.
Okay.
Right, it's a counterweight to Iran.
Okay.
Right, it's a counterweight to Russia. So it fits all the little check marks, and so Trump says we support. But from a moral point of view, it's the wrong position. So the Democrats and the Republicans are split on this. Democrats are all in support of Armenia.
Got it. Okay.
And the Republicans are all in support of Azerbaijan, at least at the political level. On the ground, people, I think, don't care, is really the reality.
All right.
So that's the issue. But
In other words, they're not buying the politicization.
the people don't know.
I only had a few sips at a time.
What's your political
I only had
position
one
on
of
it?
these.
None.
I don't have one.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't
you
even
don't
know
care, you don't know.
Yeah, don't know, don't care. Right. Yeah,
that's the whole
good.
issue.
Okay.
So-
Do you care?
I'm Armenian.
Yeah.
So yeah, I care.
Okay.
I hope to live there one day.
Okay.
And
you
so
mentioned
yeah, I
that.
care. I'd rather not have rockets flying in the air towards me.
Not in Yosemite.
Not in the Yosemite, right?
Yeah.
So here's the best part. I went there, and they're fashioned as a separate republic, independent country. So they put a stamp in my passport, in my U.S. passport. I can no longer step foot in Azerbaijan. But never mind, I couldn't anyway because I've got an Armenian last name. Oh, here's the irony. I wanted to apply for Armenian citizenship. Armenians are saying you got to prove you're Armenian. The Azeris say you've got an Armenian last name. You can't step foot in our soil. So isn't that funny? The Armenians say
He just had a whole debate with himself right there. That was
I know, right? It's just
That's
crazy.
great. Oh my God, that's cool.
So anyway,
Okay, good.
That's the extent of that subject. Move on.
All right, look at that. All right.
Let's see what
My
else we got in
goodness,
this
you
spot.
get it. Yeah. All right. We're just checking
turn.
in here. It's my turn. It is my turn. All right, we're gonna do this one.
I like it.
All right, I'm glad. Now we'll see if you do. This is going way too fast. This isn't lightning rounds, but
I want to
pick.
keep it moving because some of the stuff is boring for some people. I don't want to bore them with historical facts about Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Oh well, that's
imagine
right.
anybody
People
being
don't even know
bored with
American history here anymore.
American history.
I think
it's a blink.
You have to take. Yeah, we could go on. McCloskey's gun charges.
What?
You know the McCloskeys?
No.
The lawyers and
The guys that pointed the gun.
yeah, they're the people that because the protesters came
Shame on
and
them. They have a gun.
shame on them, shame. Well, they got indicted. There's a bunch of charges against them because they
Serious?
brandished their weapons in a threatening manner. Brandishing.
Shame. So it's okay to have it. You just can't show it to people.
Well, look, as an attorney, I'll tell you, you can have your weapons, and if people break your gate down and like hundreds of people come rushing in, you can kind of defend your property.
What if they shot their gun but didn't show it to anybody?
Shot it but
Yeah.
didn't show it?
Yeah. Because
How would that look? It's
secret hiding
like you sort of turn around
from the
and
window,
like shoot your
right
gun.
from the window, secretly, they're like, "Get off my property, or I'm going to shoot you." And then they just shoot
It could
them.
be an assault.
But what if it was self-defense?
How would it be self-defense if they
don't know,
shot
maybe
it?
if you're
But shot it
behind
at
the
who?
window.
Oh, it's just protesters, so no need to shoot. Is that what you're saying?
No need to shoot.
Okay, so nobody was actually threatening them.
Well, they were threatening them. They were verbally threatening them. They were saying, "We're gonna like come in there and like kill you, and we're gonna like live in your bedroom and kill your dog and
right.
all kinds of stuff." And
Yours is mine, mine is yours. What's the problem?
yeah, that kind of thing, right? And they stood there with their guns and said, "Move along."
So,
and at some point,
so wait a minute. So what are they in trouble for? Showing it?
apparently they were on their property the whole time. I want to be clear; they didn't leave their property.
Okay.
but their gate was broken down and people were on their property. So people were trespassing on their property,
Okay.
which you have a right to defend.
Yeah.
Correct.
What
Yeah.
did they do wrong?
Well, I was
Theoretically.
Well, nothing.
Okay, well, nothing, right? Yeah. So.
Well, what's
Nothing,
being
nothing
claimed?
legally, but politically.
Well, you have the politicians over there claiming, it was peaceful protests and they were being violent and people shouldn't be threatened over their First Amendment rights.
What's
right?
peaceful about breaking into my property?
Well, see, this is why they have sort of selective something, because when you look at the mangled iron gate, it's
That was done peacefully.
yeah, exactly. It was just Superman
Hang on, I
into
need
sort
to-
of
I need to bend this a little.
melted into a
Give me a moment.
pile of metal mush apparently, and then they just waltzed in like.
So it's gentle. It's gentle.
So
Destruction,
metal.
yeah, I mean, destruction of property, trespassing, and I'm going to kill you and your dog and go live in your bedroom and burn your house down.
But I'm
so
really lost. What's the
foundation-
argument? Yeah.
What's the foundation for a prosecution of
Yeah.
these folks?
Because they were threatening peaceful protesters and
Well, but
brandishing
wait.
their weapons in threatening manners.
But if they're not being peaceful, because that seems pretty evident.
Yeah, look, this is common sense uncommonly practiced. So, I think we're missing some of this common sense element to it. I thought this would
I'm
be
just
more controversial
bewildered.
because it's like if you can't, there's no point in having a gun if you can't defend your property
and your
and your
property.
life and your liberty and your house.
I mean,
and
but using
especially when people trespass and violently break in.
So I guess you can use
So-
it in two ways. You can use it as a deterrence by showing it that, hey, this is a
Sure.
potential outcome for you.
Yeah.
Or if you are physically threatened in fear of being injured or killed,
Well, there's-
then you can use it to fire.
If
right?
somebody says, I'm going to kill, members of your family or your pets,
You're going to say, hey, I
it's
got
kind
a
of
gun,
it's
back
kind of
off.
a form of, if you believe them, they're threatening murder. Like if you
Right?
believe them, right?
But they were just joking.
Should.
It was-
Yeah,
they
this
were
is just a
kidding.
joke, right? Yeah,
Oh.
It was a joke.
right.
Can you take a joke? I mean,
Come on.
Right.
Until
Right. Well, they did call the police,
who did?
the McCloskeys.
Okay.
They called the police, and the police didn't come.
what police? I thought they defunded all
Yeah,
of
they-
them.
No, it was before they
okay.
defunded them.
Fine, okay.
Before that went through, right? So
Hello?
okay, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah.
All right. So you'd think there'd be some police kind of guiding along the way because peaceful protests usually have them, right?
Hang on. So I've got an idea. So when you call 911, I think what they should do is, just for keeping track
Okay.
of records,
Yeah.
is ask you what color you are. Just for, tracking.
I love this.
What color
Oh, the
your-
places we'll go.
What color the
Yeah,
proposed,
it's great.
Assailant.
The people that are coming
assailant
in.
is, yeah. Because we need to keep better
McCloskeys
track of
are
things.
white, and if they were black, would it be different? Might be.
Well, they're white. That's enough.
Yeah, they're white
That's enough. So I can see why they didn't come.
because they're white.
They have white privilege.
Oh shit! You nailed it.
They're automatically protected,
It didn't even occur to me.
right?
It didn't even occur to me.
I think that's the way
It's
it
their
works.
bubble around.
I thought it was because they were lawyers. They would just say, "I object," and then they're just all going to walk away. Right?
No, I think they're already protected
Right.
just by virtue of the fact that
Privilege.
they're white. So
no,
they
they
don't
had-
need to waste.
But apparently, white privilege is defined by a gate that they can just, it's just a gate. They can just bust through it, and then the privilege is.
By the way, Armenians are white. Just
Are
for the
you?
record.
Are you white?
Well, I mean, kind of. Look,
Do you think you're white?
although I know some dark ones.
So what are they?
They're still Armenian.
Okay, so you're
But they're different,
Armenian.
but they're dark.
We're Caucasians. So
you're
Because
half
we're from
Asian.
the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. You're half Asian.
Look at the map. We're Caucasians. But go on. I
Oh,
digress
just went over.
easily.
No, we're supposed to digress. Right. I mean, so all right. Well, apparently that wasn't too controversial to you guys.
What's that?
Of course, it's controversial.
The McCloskey thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's to be controversial? I mean, they're breaking the law, showing their guns. That's the law, right?
Yeah.
You can't show your gun.
No, you can't. Break
No,
down
you
people's
could
gates
defend your property.
You,
You could defend your property. That's the law.
I thought
He's
you can't
confused.
show your gun. That's what I'm getting. Right?
can't
They're
show
getting
your
prosecuted
gun.
because they showed their gun.
Yeah, they brandish their gun.
That's the
But
illegality.
that's
No, that's the claimed legality because they were doing that to what was supposedly peaceful protesters.
and then
Wait a
the
minute.
question.
So we've got peaceful protesters, and these morons are showing their guns. That's illegal, right?
Clearly.
That's what I'm
I
understanding.
want to see what happens when it goes to
yeah.
court.
Right. Right.
Well, what's the makeup
Good-
of the
good luck
court?
with that one.
Well, who's the judge?
Yeah.
What's the makeup of the jury? These are all relevant to the validity of the law that's being applied.
Sure.
If it doesn't get thrown out before.
I'm thinking.
All right.
All right.
All right. What would you do?
With what?
What would you do if you're in their shoes?
I just declare white privilege and
And then
I'm
what?
safe. What do you want?
You just declare privilege and you're like, I'm done. Because you're Armenian, right?
Right, Caucasian.
From the
Caucasus
Caucasus
Mountains.
Island, Mountain Islands or mountains or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. All right.
I'm white.
Okay.
But sometimes I need to flip to the other side. My grandmother was sold into slavery, literally. So I am the
Wait a
grandchild
second.
of a slave.
Whoa.
So can we do reparations for that, like right here? Can we
think
do
we
like a
should.
ceremony?
Let's call Erdogan right now,
Yeah.
president of, what was it, Turkey? Oh yeah.
Turkey. No, like we should do some reparations
We're going to
ceremony.
put a dot on his head.
Like at least
No.
you have some smoke. We can do a ceremony. Would you puff on his face a little bit?
Please, not again.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can go to either side. Grandson of a slave from the Caucasian mountains.
That's awesome. See, I just appreciate the colors of your background.
Thank you. But the skin.
Bob, don't
I
be
burn.
shy. Are you white, Bob?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, just
That
checking.
explains everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we did that. Is that we're not going anywhere else with that? We can open the box.
I don't know. Where do you want to go with it?
Come on, you gotta take more. I'll take one. What do you got? Oh,
Johnny
Great
Carson.
Karnak.
Yeah. Don't know. Oh, jeez. Again?
what?
Daughter's wedding.
Oh, it's
COVID-19.
you again.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is
Put it back in. Let's go to another one. We'll come back to this one. This one's a nice little one at the end.
daughter's wedding?
Yeah, she might kill me if we talk
See, I
about
put
it.
That's
all
great.
3 of mine on one piece of paper, so I don't know that.
Oh, that
Okay,
explains
Bob.
everything.
We need some cough here. Cough on this one.
It says, don't think outside the box, get out of the box and think. No, it really doesn't say that. It says Black National Anthem at the NFL.
What is that?
That's you, right?
The Black National. So the NFL. You know the Kaepernick
I know
thing.
the NFLs. I've heard of them.
So they're going to play. It's good. Well, they haven't been playing in a while, and apparently they Goodell, or is that his name, have decided to play the Black National Anthem for the first couple weeks
Which
or
one's the
something.
Black Nation?
I-
Because you have to have the nation to have the.
National
national
Anthem,
anthem,
or
yeah. I
Black
love
Anthem. We are privileged apparently and just don't know, but I don't know.
I'm not going to make any friends with this, am I?
No, it's fine. It's
Okay.
good. So, anyways, so they decided to do this to appease. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
So do we want to talk about the drop in their television ratings?
Oh, I
yeah.
have a
Let's
question.
talk about it. Do you know anything about that?
I have a question. Can I take a knee at that?
I was thinking that. What would happen if you took it? What would happen if like white players took a knee at the Black National Anthem?
Yeah,
Wondering.
Are they racist?
of course.
Because it's
I'm
the
just
mirror image.
saying. I'm just wondering. That was a question. It's not even a statement. What happens? Like
What
I'm
should
waiting.
happen to that white guy that does that?
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for something to happen. Like somebody's got to take a knee in protest to that because
Maybe.
no.
I mean,
What are you protesting? There's nothing to protest.
we
White
know
privilege.
That. We know that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no racism. I mean,
I mean, what does a white guy have to protest anyway?
he has to protest the black people protesting.
Protest the protest. A counter
white guy's
protest.
got nothing
That's
to
a
protest.
counter protest. Come on.
You don't like protests? Come on.
Yeah, but like, okay, just what is it doing? I don't get. So first of all, yeah, I mean the thing is like the national anthem is a whole other thing. Like it's a ceremony. It was like the one symbol left of unity. We had like a symbol of unity left. There was one. There was a crumb,
It was America.
and then the guy a guy kneeled on our crumb. The one symbol of unity where we could all sort of stand up and feel like we're united.
Yeah.
And that's a whole can of worms. We can open it. I got.
It is a whole
opener.
can of worms.
I think we've already entered that camp.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I just, do you want to open that can? Let's do it.
Let's do it. I have
So,
no idea where it goes.
Do you have an opinion on that? Like when it first happened, I didn't get it. I mean, because it was like the one symbol of unity. So to me, like,
Taking a knee at the
yeah. So
national
the
anthem?
thing is like the thing is like I feel like everybody's trying to explain to white people. I don't self-identify that way as like white. So yeah, nobody asked me.
What do you
By the way,
self-identify as?
I'm just human.
What? No, you
Yeah,
gotta,
I
you gotta
know.
pick a color.
Like, no, we're
Pick
not
a
like
color.
Yeah, we're not like a mono whatever society. We're
color.
not Japan, for God's
Pick a
sakes.
color.
We mingled and we mixed, and my wife is Chinese. I got hybrid kids. I got part Cherokee, part British. I got part Iraqi Jew. I'm half Iraqi Jew. What does that make me?
You're messy.
I'm kind of olive. I'm kind of messy. Kind of messy. I'm kind of olives. I'm olives. That's not even on a form. So I don't know what I think I am. But the point is, like, everybody's trying to educate what that was supposed to stand for, and nobody's understanding why everybody got pissed off about it. Nobody's having a conversation with the people who are pissed off about it, which is interesting. And nobody ever asked, like, why do people get angry about that? Like, it's not a conversation. Why isn't that a conversation?
Why does who get angry about what? Who got angry about what?
Like, why is nobody asking the other half of America that's pissed off when somebody urinates all over the national anthem, why they're pissed off about that? Why?
Well, I mean,
I haven't heard anybody talk. I don't hear the news. I don't hear anybody talking about why.
Yeah, I think.
Do just like some people need to understand what black people are trying to get at, but nobody needs to understand the other side of it?
Well,
Did it occur to you that nobody asked the question?
so I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Whatever.
Or anybody's
It's good.
advocate.
We're just here
Somebody's
to,
advocate.
Just here to have fun. We're just having fun. I'm just asking. It's a question.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of flippant throughout this thing, but let's think of it from a different perspective. So here we are. We're saying, why are you black people also pissed? And they're saying, because we've been subjected to all sorts of things that you guys don't even get.
That may be true. Yeah.
So they don't even, and in their mind, I mean, to the extent that I can speak to anybody else's mind, is you've committed a crime against me. What do I care what you're offended about, Mr. White Person?
Is that true?
Well,
so was your family oppressed?
My white family? What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, you're Armenian. Like, was
What
there,
am I?
was there oppression in your life, like from your family? Last I checked, Iraqi Jews were like, there was no favor for Iraqi Jews.
Right.
It was like we had to like flee for our lives and leave everything. So, does that mean anything?
Should I ask my
Because
slave
I'm just
grandmother? Or
well, this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, there's a lot of cultures that endured a lot of everything from slavery to. Okay.
Talk about the Jews. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about oppression and.
So, is one better than another? Is one form of slavery superior to another from a standpoint of sin,
of suffering?
of suffering,
It's not just slavery, yeah, it's suffering
sin,
and
suffering?
death. And,
Do you deserve not to be heard?
Yeah.
Everybody should be heard.
Yeah.
No doubt. But why doesn't anybody want to hear anything other than one side of it? That's the question.
That is an issue. I mean, there's just this shutdown, it seems, of hearing the other side, and the assumption that just because your skin happens to be a lighter hue, that you happen to be guilty of something, or
Well,
you have
that's
the
right.
benefit of privilege, which is, to me, is a crock.
Well, that's what I don't get, right? You're first of all, I don't know if that makes you, like, who gets to say you're white? Last I checked, you get to self-identify, right? I mean, was that woman from the DNC, Dozel, that woman that self-identified as black and she wasn't?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
or
Last I checked, you could kind of pick.
or
That
I
was
mean-
a special case.
or
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
yeah,
Warren,
she was a
Elizabeth
special-
Warren, who identified as an Indian.
Yeah, I mean, and I've got 1,000 times more Cherokee in me than Elizabeth Warren, and like I have family with free health insurance, and that's just real. And guess what? Y'all white people celebrate Thanksgiving, which you're celebrating the murder of all my fucking family members. So, like, last I checked, that's not cool.
That's not what we're
It's not
celebrating.
cool.
but-
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's not what I'm celebrating when I have Thanksgiving, right?
right, okay.
I mean, but yeah, there's this general mischaracterization of a lot of things, including Thanksgiving, that says you, like you just said, celebrating the death of Indians. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to God for every wonderful benefit that I have in life. Period. I don't deserve any of it, and I don't deserve it because I'm white. I don't deserve it. Period. But anyway, moving on.
Don't be an apologist. There's too much of that going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just look. We should be having the conversation about this stuff, and we're not having the conversation. And I'm just surprised at the questions that aren't being asked, and those we aren't going to bridge the gap.
What would be some questions you would ask?
I would ask people who get offended by the kneeling, because you're at a sports event. These people are when we're at work, we're working. And people are there, and they go home from work, they want entertainment, and that's entertainment. The people who are working are working. And it was, entertainment was a few sacred venues where we could all
Without politicization.
We could come together as one. It didn't matter whether you're right, left, or anything. You were the color of your team, that jersey. You show up, you cheer.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what you look like, or anything. It didn't matter.
Yep, that was a connection.
And then, now, like, suddenly, it's highly offensive to half of the viewers that this is happening, and they have to witness somebody spitting on the flag. And so, but nobody's asking the people that are offended by that. Everybody's forcing those people to have to listen to the other side and say, well, you got to understand why I'm doing it. But they're missing, so there's something that's missing here.
So the same thing happened with entertainment earlier, right? It's happening now, or more recently with sports, but with other entertainment, whether it's, the Dixie Chicks or...
Oh, God.
Yeah, right? Or
you mean renaming stuff? Is that what you're talking about? Renaming everything?
No. Just the fact that we're getting preached to
by
along
Hollywood?
with our entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be indoctrinated or preached to by the media.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody does.
No,
But it happens, and it's happening quite... look,
all the time.
They've taken control.
It's turned you should have been insensitive the whole time. Real.
Shut
you
up
should
and
be
let me
real.
talk then.
Yeah, all right. Then do it. Yeah, let's bring it on.
So,
Puffy's going to join us in this conversation at some point.
10% of the American population is self-identified as gay. Okay, let's just
Yeah,
go with that
that's
number.
a stat. Yeah,
but
that's a
why
stat.
does media have 20 or 30% gay members as characters? I don't care what their personal lives are as the actors.
You mean they're discriminating and they're overrepresented? Oh, shit. Whites are minorities.
Whites.
We're underrepresented.
Straight.
Wait a second. I'm not white.
Why is it not reflective of the actual percentages in the population?
We're not drinking enough.
We'll get there.
Okay. When it's refill time, let me know.
All right?
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but everybody says
this
that.
happened earlier in media entertainment.
Sure.
You're lamenting the fact that it finally got to football, sports entertainment.
Yeah, but when you're watching a movie, you don't have to face that stuff. You're watching a movie, you're not being preached at in a movie.
Oh, yes, you are.
But you could choose not to go to the movie.
The alien creature is gay. Come on. in
SpongeBob?
sci-fi.
The Teletubbies were questionable. I just got to tell you. Thank God I had my
All right,
children
don't go
after
after
the
Mr.
Teletubbies.
Rogers, please.
Started with Barney. But Teletubbies were questionable.
You can be gay. I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
your
yeah.
choice. But why does it have to be crammed down my throat in overrepresentation across the board?
That's it. It's an interesting question.
But
But the media. So that aspect was always that way, right? It was always The entertainment industry was always bent. It was always liberal.
Yeah.
But sports wasn't. Sports was one of those few things that
Fair enough.
It was neutral.
It was
exempt from
neutral.
that.
It was
Yeah.
neutral. It
Yeah.
was the only thing left, right? Because if it wasn't movies, it was sports.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it pisses a lot of people off. Like, I won't go to a sports game anymore. I won't do it.
I
And
can tell you lots
of
people that won't.
But nobody. Did anybody ask them why? Like, anybody ask them why it offends them?
Yeah.
Does it offend you, Bob?
Which part?
Kneeling at the anthem.
It does.
Well, what offends you about it?
Because to me it's disrespectful of our country, of our flag, and of who we are, and I think it's just disrespectful because that has been a national, a forever national emblem, if you will, of what America stands for. And by the way, why all these people want to come to America. So why, if America is such a bad place, why are you here?
To change
So,
it.
so
lead.
is there anything
AOC?
somebody could do to the national anthem that would change your mind about it? Like, if they protest during the national anthem, are you going to feel good about it? Or you're just
No.
it's pretty much
No, I'm not going to feel good about it. No.
The national anthem should be sacrosanct.
yeah. Like, it was the only thing left. You know what I mean? It was the only
The
thing
only
left.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, for me, to me, it isn't even a political issue. Nobody ever asked me. And really, it's kind of offensive. Nobody cares. Because it's kind of like, look, some of us have wives, and we know happy wife, happy life. If you don't know that, The audience should take cue. You want to stay married, happy wife, happy
If
life.
you take one thing away from this useless meeting that we're having,
You have to
happy
have-
wife. Happy
You have to
life.
have a right answer machine. I mean, like, there's a few things that just got to happen, you know. So I'm just saying that there's, like, if you ever had an argument with somebody where, like, if they're not being heard, like they got an issue and you're not dealing with it, they're not listening.
Yeah.
They're not going to hear you. And if there's something that, like, if there's a ceremony, and a lot of people view the national anthem as a ceremony, it's sacrosanct. It's like you said. You guys are all feeling it. It's something almost like a funeral, because you're honoring what it took to make us free. And you know what? Somebody showed up at your parents' fucking funeral and decided to turn it into their political rally.
Right.
And that's offensive
Or
to
to
the
bash,
senses.
or to bash your parents.
Or to bash your parents. It's offensive to the senses. And there just isn't anybody that could do anything to hijack a ceremony where I'm interested in listening to what that is, not because I don't care about them, not because I don't care about what they've been through and I don't want to understand them, but because you're in the middle of a ceremony and you don't urinate on somebody's ceremony.
Right.
You know, you don't have to. You don't have to
hijack
tear
it.
down somebody else's ceremony to make a statement.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the strategy.
Well, I don't know if it was a strategy. It started with a guy making a statement. It became a movement, and next
It was
thing
an
you know-
opportunity to make a statement.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah. Stage.
sure. But you know, is anybody else having are your conversations with people about this privately any different, Bob, than that? Are people talking about it,
Yeah, they are. I mean,
or they're just
giving.
giving their conclusion and saying, "I'm
No,
pissed."
I think in
won't.
the groups that the folks that I've talked with most of the time, I mean, they feel very much the same way. That there's a lot of things in this country. I mean, you can take it to the statues, you could take it to the symbols, you could take it to all kinds of different things, and say, look, that's how this country came together. I mean, if you typically when you go to other countries, and so they talk about this, so you say typically, so you go to Japan. The majority of the population is Japanese. The majority. They have different.
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah, but it's a pretty homogenous culture
Yeah, but not. There's no other culture that's as homogenous
as Japan.
No, as this. Oh, yeah, as Japan.
Androgynous.
And China. China.
Oh yeah, we're a very diverse culture. We're
exactly.
a melting pot.
We're the
It's
most
an immigrant country.
The
Legal
most
immigrant
diverse,
country.
the most
We're an
diverse
immigrant
culture on the
we
It's an
gotta-
planet.
immigrant country,
I don't know if
period,
that's a-
whether it's
Yeah.
arrived at legally or illegally
Yeah.
at this point. It isn't.
Yeah, it is a melting pot.
Right. So, therefore, why are people so unhappy about the fact that we have welcomed people from every part of the world into this country?
Well, so I love it. Well, the question is, so I think there's some of the issues of this sort of we're still in a black, white, or in a binary.
If not political. Well, but it's political.
We're in a binary identification where By the way, I actually have black friends. I don't know.
What?
I know what.
You're not
by the
supposed
way,
to say that. That's
okay.
a racist statement. By
So
the way.
I don't even understand.
It
Like
is.
first of all, so I don't understand. Anyway, I have to talk with a black friend about this because it's like, are you black? Like last I checked, the color black, like nobody's black, like they're brown.
They're variants.
So I don't understand. Like even who came up with it doesn't make sense, and white it doesn't even make sense to me. I don't get the binary thing, but the point is like in an immigrant country where everybody's from everywhere, an Armenian, Iraqi Jew.
supposed
I'm
to
not
be
from
a-
Armenia, by the way.
Supposed to be
are you from?
Americans.
I was born in Beirut.
Oh, check that out. You're Beirutean. What does that mean?
My mom's from Greece, though.
Check it.
I mean,
See-
you start figuring this out. You let
Okay,
me
well,
know.
that's
These are
okay.
multinational.
But this is what I'm telling you. Like, who enslaved who? Like, when you
Yeah.
come here,
It's all
and
done.
you don't
We're
have
here.
you don't have a candle in that funeral. Like,
We're done. This is a new
everybody's
place.
from somewhere else,
Right.
and we need to figure out a way to love each other and get along.
Yeah.
Do you feel a love thing, or
Yeah,
like?
but that's
Right now, I'm feeling loved
Aw.
because I'm amongst white men. Saying how
Are we
wonderful
ready?
Mike is because she did it.
All right, stick it in the
Or she did both
hole.
Mikes.
All right, here it goes. All right, screw
Selective
that.
credit. Let's
Are
do
we
the
gonna-
influencer culture.
No, you don't want to redo that, right? I love it.
Let's do it twice.
We're gonna redo it.
Yeah.
That's cute.
okay. It's done.
Let's gavel
That
in
was
the
it.
next topic.
Oh,
You
wait.
can ask me where I got this.
No, I didn't ask that on the video last time.
instant
Yeah,
replay.
yeah, it's kids.
It's a
kids.
replay.
Instant replay.
Kids.
Thank God for the girls. They're usually playing whack-a-mole with that
It's
thing.
almost my bedtime. What am I doing?
What are you doing here? Pick one.
You gonna trust me?
What are you going easy? There's two of them. It was a
Shadow government.
shit. It's a conspiracy.
state.
So deep state. Okay, are we gonna go deep state? We're gonna call it. They call it shadow
Apparently,
government.
deep state's not unique to America.
It isn't?
No, I was reading an article and they were talking about the deep state of, I don't know, some other country.
And because it's in an article, he believed it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it exists. There's evidence.
Exactly. That's our
Yeah,
take
that
on
is
it.
actually, I just read
So,
that.
deep
I just
state.
read the same thing.
All right. So,
Yeah.
and you believe in deep state?
Well, we believe in the articles we read.
I believe in the deep
Right.
state.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I mean, it depends. You can call it anything you want. Shadow government.
I can't take him anywhere. She keeps dropping the mic. All right, it's
No, the
good.
mic's
It's good. It's
I
fine.
think it's safer if we leave the mic.
That's
control
right.
box up
It's
here.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
Control freak. You were saying?
No, I'm
Deep
saying
state.
deep state. I mean, does anybody not believe that there's a deep state?
What is a deep state?
Well, I mean, that's just a name that somebody gave it. But I mean,
Like
it's
what?
a counter.
Entrenched bureaucrats that have become kleptocrats? Like it's a kleptocracy, so they just want to perpetuate power?
They're just, they're basically socialist, primarily socialist-based, anti-American.
Well, hang on. Well,
That's interesting because when I think of deep state, I just think about like the entrenched
yeah.
like
Machine.
establishment, the machine perpetuating its own power.
Yeah, I don't
whatever
think-
direct, I mean,
I don't-
that's the big ship that you can't turn around.
Right.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I guess you could describe that. You could say it that way, but then if you talk about what does the deep state do, now you have a different.
Do they do
different
anything?
subject. Well, yeah,
Not
they-
for the American people. I mean,
Well, they do whatever they can to obstruct justice,
Okay.
and to, in a sense, to destroy all the principles and foundations
what end?
upon which to transform the country into a socialist or communist or Marxist country.
but if that were true, Bob, why would what I don't get about it? I don't see deep state as being an inherently liberal, Marxist, socialist thing. Like both sides, like
it didn't used to be. It
Okay.
didn't. I don't believe it used to be. I believe it is
Ooh,
today.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the New World Order.
That's another
Well,
topic.
okay, there's a globalism. Okay, for sure, there's a whole globalism movement that was on both sides, right?
So,
Perhaps.
So that goes to your point. Is the deep state one globalist? And if it is, then is it left or right?
And I say yes. It
Yes
is
to
left.
what?
Yes, it is left.
Always
Okay,
left.
well, let's just put it this way: if Trump was rallying for his thing was drain the swamp, then isn't that deep state?
That's what I think he's referring to. When
Yeah,
he
yeah,
thinks
okay.
swamp.
Yeah.
And so all you needed to do was figure out what swamp creatures were against him, and then you've pretty much figured out they've self-identified, right?
Okay.
Because the people who were fighting the drain the swamp from the
Were,
inside
by
self-identified as
definition,
swamp.
But what if they were tricky?
What do you mean tricky?
What if they just went along and didn't reveal themselves?
I-
And they're really.
Do you know
deep.
anybody that went along? I don't know anybody
Yeah.
that went along.
So far,
They,
no.
yeah, well, they fought them all. I mean, and then the guys is.
Well, no, you don't know about them because they went along. Ah, it gets tricky.
Yeah, okay, that's like three of them. There's like three left. So with the rest of them, we're all fighting from the inside. Like
Yeah.
Ryan, Paul. Yeah.
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Right. Sessions got nailed.
Yeah. Mitchell initially you thought was, or Mitch O'Connell rather.
McConnell.
Yeah.
McConnell.
Well, McConnell's a good old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he probably, he knew he had a few years left, so he's sort of like a wait and see kind of. I'll just wait it out.
If you describe the deep state as a generic term, or really a generic term, meaning, people who have been in political positions for extraordinarily long periods of time, you could describe it that way.
I would see the deep state as people that are not in elected office typically.
Could be, yeah. There's plenty of that.
They're appointments.
Right?
They're what?
They're people that are appointees. They're people that
Yeah.
are employees that wield a lot of power by way of being able to direct the elected officials.
Yeah, I think-
because the truth of the matter is a lot of the congressmen have
a
no
good
idea
point.
what they're voting for. They don't read those 2,000-page documents that they're voting for.
Who writes that crap? I mean, how do you even write
Deep
something like that?
state.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It's ridiculous.
should be music that goes
lobbyists, Lobbyists, by the way.
Every time we say deep state, there should be some music that goes along with it.
that-
There you go. Deep state.
Okay, deep state.
One more time. Deep state. There you go. No, that's not deep enough.
We didn't start it.
So yeah,
Just saying.
my poor parents. They spent so much money on piano lessons for me. What a waste of money.
What
But go on.
Okay, got it. So,
Yeah, so-
okay, so I get it. Anyway, it doesn't represent the voice of the people, right? But is it just me, or
Well,
is
they're
it
not
like,
accountable.
Okay, but they're not accountable for sure. If they're not elected, they're not accountable. But are the the approval? Everybody's like pounding the approval rating of the president, but like, they don't get it. The approval rating of like all elected officials. If you added them all up, it's lower than the president's approval rating. It's because
Right.
So like, nobody's talking
There's
about
no
that.
context to the number.
There's no context. Well, it is. I think this was true throughout history, like Congress's approval rating in general. But now, like nobody's getting anything done.
Right. I wonder what Nancy Pelosi's rating is.
You wonder what?
What Nancy Pelosi's rating is.
Put it this way: if there were a Richter scale, it probably wouldn't register.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
wait
would
a
make
second.
sense.
That's Walters or whatever her name is.
Who?
No.
Maxine Waters.
Maxine
It's
Waters.
Waters.
I went to an event where Maxine Waters spoke. And it was, I don't understand why this gentleman invited me.
Impeach whatever it is, right?
No, it was interesting.
That's the only thing I,
I
know
was
that
one
she
of,
said. Did she say anything else?
there was about 60 people there.
65? Whatever. I don't know.
There was about
They
60
erased
people there,
history,
and
so
I was one out of 2 or 3 white people there.
That's it?
That's it. And so she felt
Were you
very
right?
free. No, at the time I was the grandson of a slave.
No, I have to check in every once in a while because you're like allowed to self-designate and that can change
Right.
throughout your
So-
life. So
But the amount of bile that was spewed by her towards Republicans and white people was incredible. I imagined myself in the reverse of that.
did you say bile?
Bile, like the
Like
stuff,
the stuff
you
that comes out of
puke.
your gallbladder?
Yeah, that's
Did
the
you
one.
mean vial instead of like a vial of bile?
Bile.
or-
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
Bile.
So bile has been very, very good to me. So I don't know if we're talking about bile or bile.
That's funny. That's great. I'm just checking. I didn't know bile was bad because.
It's that nasty taste that just before you
Okay,
puke.
that stuff. Yeah. I didn't know it goes up that far. That's good.
Yeah, it's nasty.
So,
Thanks for making sure we focused in on
it's a
that
really
lovely.
intelligent show we got. So check it out.
Good thing it's going
Maxine-
to crap,
Well,
right?
okay, but I don't get
Maxine
it.
Waters. Wow, what
So
a
you
work.
mean to tell me that Trump can't be a meanie boy because he's going to incite violence because he's not nice to people, but Maxine can spew bile
Correct.
Bile or vile?
or vile bile?
Bile.
And then, like, people don't get upset that people have become violent at white people and then some other people that are Armenian and other humans that...
First, you have to classify us. You can't just. I mean, are you putting
Well,
us in the?
I'm not trying to ask the questions. I'm just here to ask the questions, people. I'm not here to give answers. I don't know what you are. You get to self-identify. I keep telling you that.
Oh, I get to self-identify.
Yeah.
Ooh, let me think on that.
There's an
That opens up
there's
the
an other
possibilities.
box. There's an other box. You should just put human. I think we've all lost that we're all human, but okay.
Seriously.
So when you were saying she was spewing all kinds of stuff, like
Yeah.
like
We're gonna.
Lightfoot does, calling McEnany a Karen, like I don't get it.
Now, it's been years, but I just remember it was all about we got to get that white man out of office. Literally saying those words. I wish I had a recorder with me that I could have recorded. Or
Was
I had
that hate speech?
Was that like Biden's comment about putting you all
No,
back in chains?
Hey, if you're not black, if you're not voting Democrat, you
You're not
ain't black.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
The shit that people get away with saying, it's like, come on back to the plantation, folks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how people.
Yeah, and-
I don't get how you could how you get away with it.
And that's on the same level as the things
But
that
like,
Trump says.
if you,
I mean, it truly, forget the joking for a second. It is so vile to say those things
It's
because
so
those
vile.
people did suffer.
it's offensive. Like, it's offensive to me, and like I wasn't one of them. So the interesting thing is like, how could I be more offended than they are? Like, you got to leave the party. It's like time to walk away when your party tells you, I took you for granted. If
Right.
you're not voting this way, you're not even like this color.
yeah.
That means like you're out of the cage I put you in.
Yeah.
Like, get back in line. Holy shit.
Yeah, no
like, could you
kidding.
be more explicit
And-
about
yeah.
how you
Right.
really feel
It's
about
offensive.
individual
It
classes?
truly
What
is
was the
offensive.
blowback? What was the blowback?
None,
from that?
because they're on the
But
other
there
side.
wasn't any blowback from that.
Because the media ignored it.
Yeah, I don't know. Mainstream media's on here, but that would be like the extra hour. We'd add an hour to the show. Mainstream media. Crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean,
we
look, there was suffering, and it was horrific, and God forbid that should ever happen again. But let's move on.
Yeah, so when was this? How long ago was that?
Maxine Waters thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess about 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
So it was before,
before
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah, it was. Hang on.
So was it
Let me
wait?
do
Was
the
it
math.
No, it
before?
couldn't have been.
So there was a point at which Hillary said
He was running. He was running is when it happened.
Because
Yeah.
there was a point at which Hillary said, "When they go low, we go high."
No, they don't.
Well, wait a second. They were trying to before that, but what happened was the minute that didn't work,
Yeah.
they never went high again. They went low.
Lower than anyone's ever
That's
gone
right.
before.
And so, what's really interesting thing is like there's a saying: if you don't have if you're young and you're not a Democrat, you don't have a heart. If you're old and you're not a Republican, you don't have a brain.
Yeah.
It feels like the left has lost its heart.
Oh, I mean,
It used to be a party of kindness and inclusion,
It's interesting. I was
And
thinking about that
and
because
it really is it has become
yeah.
violent and about like ghosting and doxing and cancel culture and they used to be about free speech and civil rights, and now civil rights groups are silent on censorship and issues, and like, holy crap.
You know what? I would characterize myself as a Kennedy Democrat.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I would say that. I would say it sounds
I have
totally
no
right,
problem
right?
describing myself that way.
Yeah.
But the Democratic Party of today is not the same.
It left, yeah. My mom and I grew up in my women in the family, like two older sisters and a mother, March on Washington people, feminists, and they left their opinion as a party left them
Right?
yeah.
because feminism had eventually sort of turned from pro women to anti male.
Right.
And it just completely left the reservation, and it feels like with everything race and inclusion had become sort of anti-white rather than coming together and understanding each other.
Right.
And that's where the whole aspect of where did it lose its heart? How is it that it really did lose heart?
So then by that argument, if we're saying the Democratic Party lost its heart, some would say the Republican Party doesn't even have a heart to lose at this point. So there is no heart-oriented party. Who's caring for the people?
Well, okay. So I think that's the old saying, but I think there's a lot of people. There's a Blexit movement. There's a Jexodus movement, Jewish exodus. There's a walk away movement now.
From what? Exodus?
Jewish exodus. The Jews exit. Well, come on.
Exiting what?
The Democratic Party.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, I don't know how you could be Jewish and be, if you're real Jew, not Jewish with a hyphen and ish. I'm talking about real Jewish.
Yeah.
Like if you see what the Democrats think about Jews, it's pretty offensive. So like I don't understand.
How many of those Democrats are Jewish?
A shit ton of them, like way too many, right?
Right.
Like I don't.
Think about that.
But they're not Jewish. They're Jewish.
Like my phone call this morning with
So-
the guy with his Jewish jokes. I mean, with the Trump jokes, rather.
I love it. So but it's amazing. It's amazing. Like where do people go for heart? I think there's a perception issue though, that the conservative side has been painted as not having heart, because.
So would you say they do have a heart? And what's the evidence?
No, that's
to
just
it?
what they've been painted. Like nobody takes the time to listen to them because they don't go.
Well,
they don't quit work to protest in the street, right? That's why they call them conservatives. Somebody asked Dennis Prager, is why are you a liberal and why are you a conservative? He says, so you can afford to be a liberal. The point was I'm working to pay taxes so you could afford to take the freaking day off and go protest in the streets, right? In March. It's sort of, that's where people are talking about silent majority because they're not the squeaky wheels that are getting out there and throwing bottles at buildings and burning stuff down.
Right.
But then, does that mean they don't have a heart? It's kind of like we all need to go to the petting zoo and understand each other a little bit.
I'm sorry. Say that again. We're going to go.
I actually
where
thought-
and we're going to do what?
Yeah, this is great. I actually thought about calling this show the petting zoo.
There you go.
Because we'd actually people had become tribal.
Is Epstein invited?
Yeah, that's great. Then there's not there's no heavy petting involved. I should
Oh,
be
okay,
clear.
good.
Okay,
Biden's
good.
not
It's just
invited
light
either.
petting. It's a light petting. Creatures of a different kind. Which at least today means they just don't share every single view you have, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, you could get real and talk about, what have the Democrats done for the minorities over the last 50 years?
Okay, so thank you, Bob,
New Deal.
for opening the box. 40 years? I mean,
50.
50 years. So we've got who freed the slaves?
I think that was the Republicans.
Oh shit! Wait a second. Did you say Republicans?
I think so.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear.
Just
All
I
right.
think that's what the history book said.
And then then all the African Americans voted Democrat for like 40 years, and then there's Democratic cities for 40 years. And all I'm saying is like
Stockholm syndrome?
yeah,
Much?
something like that. Like
No, but the talk about that. I mean, let's look at the Democratic cities and states,
sure.
and
You mean that?
How they doing? How are they doing?
how have they been doing?
How
for the
Baltimore's
last
how are the
50
minorities?
years?
How are the minorities doing?
Yeah, how are the minorities doing in the Democratic states and cities? Horribly, and they have been forever. And all of the promises, all of the money, all of the things that the left, that the Democrats have talked about doing to help the blacks, to help minorities, to help none of it's happened. If anything, it's done the complete opposite. They've done the complete opposite. They've pushed them down, made them more reliant on government. And
Well, see, this is
that's the reality.
Well, what you're missing. So this is the hard argument. So we're going to want to weave this right back into heart, because people think, for instance, I'm a parent, and the first thing a parent knows is that love manifests itself in a bunch of ways. Giving your kids, spoiling them, and giving them a bunch of shit, whatever they ask for, and then knowing how to exercise restraint, and knowing that when restraint is love, and what that teaches them to get on in the world. And that's our job. There's tough love, and there's the giving and spoiling kind of love, and it's kind of both, right? I got daughters, I want to love them to death, but then, you also got to teach them to live in the world.
Yep.
And that's a kind of love that you have to sort of dig to understand. The kids got to grow up and then realize it when they're 25, right? And then come back and realize, oh my God, you loved me. That was love. And, there's great stories about that. But when it comes to the handouts and the things that, a lot of people on the other side of the liberal argument, their opposite side of that, are saying handouts aren't helping them. But if people think that the free shit, model is being an advocate for minorities when it in fact has kept them down.
Yep.
It's kept them on the reservation. So, to me, I always think about it like the lending tree slogan, when banks compete, you win. So if 40 or 50 years didn't make your life better, why the hell didn't you change parties? Why?
Right.
Why? Make them compete, for gosh sakes. Make them compete. It wouldn't matter which party's for you. Make them compete to do better for you.
Right.
That's it. Just for the sake of competition
Play
makes
them
do
off.
better. Play them off one another. Like, you gamify it. Like, make them work for it. They're not making them work for it.
They're
How is it
already
that-
in the
how
pocket.
Can Biden say, if you're not a Democrat, you're not black, and anybody who's black, vote for them?
That is
I've got to.
patently offensive.
It's offensive. It's so just disgracefully offensive that you can't. Like, I don't even understand how you can do that
And get away with it.
and get away with it. And so this is just like
So where has Biden been lately?
in the
by way?
basement.
Oh, is that? Because I haven't seen him.
Well, they locked him up. He's
And
locked
why?
up because I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden. That's why. It's because he says
What?
he said
I didn't hear that
he
one.
said that. He also said, "I'm going to beat Joe Biden." That's what he said.
Good luck. I'm predicting a tie between Joe and Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, that's right. His tongue.
Really?
might be
He
tied.
said this?
He said both of them, and it's on video. You got to check it out.
But it's a tongue. It's just a slip. It has nothing to do with his senility. That's a different issue.
Well,
Yeah.
How old is he? Does anybody know?
77, I think.
77.
I believe. I'm not positive.
That's not the lucky sevens
That's
right there.
not-
I'm just
that's-
telling you.
That age isn't necessarily senility, but
no.
he does demonstrate senility. I think he's been senile since he was about 47, though.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's been
So
doing
I don't know.
this stuff
The point is, like, he's been in power long enough as VP to do some good stuff for
right.
people.
He's done nothing.
And and he had a
Nothing.
chance.
Nothing.
He had a chance, and it's going to come home to roost when he gets if he comes out of the basement.
And,
which
and here's another thing.
is.
Okay, this is not about Trump and Biden. People that are voting on the Democratic side are not voting for Joe Biden
No, they're not.
because the truth
They're
is,
just
Joe's
voting
is
it.
about as bland
You
as
got
he
it.
is.
You got it.
the
There
truth
needs to be
is that
voting
within
anti-Trump.
3 months of if he, God forbid, were to be elected, within 3 months,
He'd be dead?
they will remove him. No. The party.
You
will-
think so?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's just a conspiracy theory, but
No, it's
it's
not
a
a con-
theory. I would,
Well, it's
or they'll control him like Mueller. They'll do
Yeah.
like Mueller. It'll be a
It's not
Mueller
that.
job.
No,
It'll be a Mueller
they
job.
will make sure that he is declared incompetent, and then whoever the vice president is,
Or be
which is another
rendered,
issue.
or be rendered
Rendered.
ineffective.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's different ways that can happen, but
Anyways, who needs to remove a puppet anyway?
yeah, but the
if they're a
point
good
is
puppet,
that people don't understand that they're not voting for him. They're voting for AOC. They're voting.
Yeah.
For
They're voting for whoever the VP is.
Well, and they're voting for the entire group on the other side, the entire leftist.
It's just an
socialist,
it's an
Marxist
anti-position rather than a position.
You know,
So
I wonder
it's
if
point.
the
It's anti-Trump.
the insurance
all.
people have done any sort of analysis on how long Biden will live.
Oh boy.
That would be interesting. I think that should be
Might
part
be.
of the election requirements. You know,
Well,
they
I
want to see
think-
Trump's tax returns. I want to see your mortality.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know. People think like people keep saying Trump's not fit, but like I don't know. Like you gotta one way or another. It's like it's an interesting thing to come in. Do you know in your lifetime any president who ever took on took on the whole thing?
No.
He took on the whole thing, and he's his own worst enemy at the same time because he says shit, and people are like, why?
Yeah, but he
Why?
says, but he doesn't say shit for shit. He says everything he says has been thought about. Believe it or not.
But the public doesn't know the context of most of
Every
it.
tweet he sends.
They don't, but there's the
is-
sort of
has
the art of the
been
deal,
thought
and that,
about
there's the
before
element
it
of that.
was sent.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
you can be guaranteed.
People,
of that.
but yeah, people don't get it, but they go crazy crazy by what he says,
Right.
and nobody's watching what he does,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and
Which
so
is
there's an
okay.
interesting thing.
No.
Well, because
No.
it's all about your gentleness of manner and your touch, and that's what Obama had, right? He had the
Well, there's a lot.
He was smooth.
It's a lot
he was
more.
smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah, so but it's an interesting sort of David and Goliath story when you think about it, because it takes a lot of something, regardless of whether because Trump's not Republican if you think about it.
Right, he's not.
He's not a fiscal conservative. Like Rand Paul said today, the way that these printers are going on overtime, I think overdrive.
Let's
the
hope
money
they don't
printers.
burn out.
The money, but he's like, there's no fiscal conservatives. No, like there's nobody left.
No.
There's nobody left. We're just printing money.
Yep.
Like so, he's not a fiscal conservative. He was a Democrat like most of his life.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And basically, the dude's a businessman. He did a hostile takeover of the Republican Party
Right.
Yep.
because there are a bunch of wusses, frankly spineless pussies. But anyways, I'm not sure I can say that online. Can I say that online?
You
We'll
just
find
did.
out.
Producer gave me a thumbs up, and then he said, "I guess you could say that online." Absolutely spineless.
Hand gestures are okay.
And so
Words
it's
are
fine.
not.
I didn't do it. He did it. I'm just checking. Is that what he said? So I mean, like he did a hostile
Right.
takeover.
Exactly.
And then he went after the whole enchilada, which you got to say, like, whether you agree with him or don't, it takes a lot of guts to do that. Holy crap.
Yeah.
What kind of human do you got to be to take
Huge
that on?
ego.
That's why they don't. That's
Huge
why they hate
ego.
him so much.
That's
why
fine.
They hate him because he's not one of them.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
He wasn't co-opted.
He's a unicorn in the political.
Of course,
arena.
yeah.
Unicorn with pretty colors.
But you got to remember, like, so Biden's kind of the leftovers candidate, isn't he? I mean, remember, there were plenty of times the Republicans didn't have anybody. Plenty of times the Republicans didn't have a good candidate.
Right.
When did we have, like, when was the year Lamar? We have a Lamar?
yeah.
The dude that had, like, plaid shirts and stuff?
Yes.
Real presidential.
Yeah.
Plaid shirts.
I don't even
You know
remember
who he's talking
him.
about? Yeah.
No.
Lamar Alexander, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
come
when
on.
did he? Who did he run against?
Well,
how long did he last?
I mean, he had 12 votes, but I mean,
who got the
I'd have to.
nomination that year?
I don't remember.
Okay, so we got. I mean, maybe Ocasio-Cortez isn't here. We should see what's next.
OAC.
Don't let her out of the box.
Yeah. Oh Jesus! Really, I'm not doing this one.
Could I see what it was that you're not doing?
I'm not doing that one.
What does it say?
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously, come on. Oh my God!
I mean, if it weren't coffee, if it were whiskey, maybe.
I'm not doing this. The producer's got a dirty mind. I love it. It's fine. We do too, but no, not tonight. The night is young and I'm not drunk. So what is this? Mosa Lepstein?
Who?
Oh,
A
that's-
molester
Oh,
Epstein.
molesting.
Yeah, molesting.
Yeah, what about him?
What about him? Well, okay, he's...
So I'm curious who's going to get dragged down into the mud with him in
So-
totality. I mean, there's a bunch of names floating around. Most interesting is, I don't know which one of the royalty.
The royalty
yeah.
in UK, yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, right now it depends on what they do with what's her name, the girlfriend,
Geisel
Yeah.
or
whatever.
Yeah,
So-
whatever the famous woman is. Or
the
rich
lady
woman.
with the G
Yeah, that
in her
one.
name.
Yeah. They're going to kill her, right? Like they did to him? Okay, was he murdered or what?
Who?
Absolutely.
You know, all the guards just happened to be like taking a siesta at
And
the
the
time,
camera-
right?
and
The
the
guy's
cameras were
suicidal.
off.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
he,
it's just, it
what's
was
he
a
gonna
complete
do?
coincidence, right? I mean, the guy's
And
like,
that, paper uniforms are easy to
That's-
hang yourself with. Was he wearing paper, or had they given him his own clothing?
no, she's wearing paper, but I don't think
Okay.
he was.
Well, he would no, but he had. They explained that the fabric, that whatever he was wearing, the fabric was not sufficient to actually
Hang him?
to actually hang yourself and break your neck.
So how do they think it happened? Broke
He
his
was
neck
murdered.
and then got hung?
He was murdered.
Well, anyway, I mean, the
paper.
point is, it's the contrast.
Wait, what if she
Okay,
self-immolates?
Oh boy,
What if what?
could be.
She self-immolates,
I-
catches fire.
There's way too many syllables in that.
I'm sorry.
thinking
What
to
if
myself,
she catches
somebody-
fire?
Okay, wait. But the contrast of like the lack of uproar. There's more fear than uproar, isn't there? Think about it.
more
Our people-
fear
There's more
amongst the
fear
people.
than uproar.
More
Where's the uproar?
Over what? Over what?
Over Epstein.
Oh,
So check it out.
Most people aren't
Wait a
even
second.
clued in.
Kavanaugh got rolled into this whole 30 years
Because he was a
ago.
bully.
So 30 years ago, boys were dipshits in high school, and maybe
Yeah.
30
Never
or 40 years
substantiated.
ago, somebody was a dipshit in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then we're back to he said, she said, in a court of what? In a court of politics.
Right.
And then people were in uproar, absolute uproar, flipping the justice system upside down from
Well,
a
the
standard of
people
beyond a
weren't in
reasonable doubt to believe
People
all
weren't in an
women
uproar.
to.
The left was
Yeah.
in an uproar.
Of course, I understand.
Yeah,
I
mean,
understand.
You have to
but,
distinguish.
But Epstein's shit actually happened by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I don't know if the rest of the world is like me. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, whatever. He did what he did. They're going to whitewash
Epstein?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to whitewash it. The right people aren't going to get really punished the way they should be. One more piece of crap that I've got to hear about that's sensationalized. I don't even want to hear about it.
You given up on justice, huh?
In a great way, I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has that changed over the years?
Yeah. I used to think there was justice.
Wow.
But so much is just manipulated away, or
by
the
the
media,
media.
spins it in such a way, or then you find out that somebody got a great lawyer and didn't, get their just rewards, or they're in, some nice light cushy jail sentence. So it's like I don't even care anymore. Just
So the guy that killed the people in the woods, the slaying of those people that were murdered in the woods recently.
that one. I don't
Okay, you don't
bother
follow
anymore.
it. The guy apparently had like 250 felonies. Like, how do you even get that? Like, how do you collect? Like,
Why is
10
he
of
not
them?
in jail
That's what
for
I'm telling you.
life
How do you
or
collect
dead?
10? Like, I don't even understand that. Is it like a punch card? Like,
about
do
the
you get
illegal aliens
do you get a
that have 10
bonus if you hit?
felonies?
I mean, how many times do you have to go to McDonald's to get the right Monopoly
Right,
stickers
right.
to win?
But if you brandish a gun to defend your home,
No, that's a crime.
it's a crime.
That's a crime.
And you'd think they'd have better things to do.
I mean, why is that guy with the 250 murders?
250 felonies or something.
Felonies.
Some ridiculous amount of
Why
felonies.
isn't
Like,
he permanently castrated or lobotomized and put away or dead?
Well, how about the people that have 10 DUIs and wind up killing somebody? Why are they out there?
right.
Why don't they have ankle bracelets that show that they're traveling faster than 5 miles an hour and immediately arrested?
Why do we park on driveways and drive on parkways?
Whoa, you're blowing my mind.
Why don't we just ask questions all night? That's great. I love it. All right, let's do a couple more and then we'll call it a night, huh? All right. See, we're gonna
Why
do
would
this.
you want to end so much fun so quickly?
See, this is a
yellow
drunk driver
Cobra.
right here. I'm telling you,
Is that a Cobra?
it's a something. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's figure it out. Let's put all the old specs on.
All right, here.
You work on that. I'll work on this.
Oh, gosh.
It's a Dodge Viper. Different snake.
Unfortunately, you're all going to be on the spot with this one. I hate to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Are you racist?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Shit, what does it mean? Everybody's racist today. Is it? So first of all, look,
What?
I looked up racism just for fun one day, and I was just like reading what it means. But like, it didn't say the definition doesn't mean that you're anti a specific race. Racist generally means you're like against
Others.
others.
That are not like you.
So
Yeah, they're not like you.
What does that mean to be
interest.
against?
But here's the other thing: who is complaining? Who is racist right now?
yeah. The
No,
blacks
no.
are- blacks are
I mean,
complaining,
generally
whites are racist.
speaking, the black Americans are complaining that white Americans are racist.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I
So
think that's a factual statement.
but racist doesn't mean white people hate black people. or people hate black people, it means that they're against other races.
Well, wait,
Yeah, but
but
that's-
let's be honest. Let's be intellectually honest for a second. As the word racist is used, forget what the dictionary definition is. How is it being used commonly?
Is it different?
I think it is.
You think it's different?
Yeah.
You think
It's very specific.
well, or is it very generic? Is it just because to me it seems it's being thrown around like
So the
everybody's
dictionary-
racist. So whether it's in other words, I think
Well, wait, are the blacks racist? Do they believe that they're racist?
Most don't.
well some of them
Most
think that
believe that it's not possible.
right something that's not possible to be racist, which under the definition of racism it doesn't.
Well,
make
that's
sense,
a different definition. They're using the same word for a different definition, which happens all the time in linguistics. But I mean, it does.
Sorry. Wait a second.
I mean, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole with me.
That's a different rabbit hole. Yeah. That's right.
But so that's why I mean, all flippancy aside, when I say, "What do you mean by racist?"
What do you mean? What I mean? All right, what is it? What does
What
it
does
mean?
the question mean?
Are you racist?
What is your definition of racism?
What do you mean? My definition?
What is the definition you want me to answer?
Three
to?
white guys sat around and
Well,
asked
do
what
you- do you
racism
feel-
is. Nobody
do you
answered the
think of
fucking
yourself as
question.
racist?
I am
what-
racist.
You are?
I am
tell
absolutely
me about it.
racist.
Okay.
I'd rather my kids marry an Armenian
All right.
because culturally it makes life so much easier.
Okay, great.
We speak from the same culture.
yeah.
Does that make you
That doesn't
racist?
mean I don't like the white guy or I don't like the Chinese
Ah,
person.
finally, you said you're not white. I was wondering the whole freaking night. You wouldn't say it.
White meaning
Okay,
Western
good, good.
European.
Okay, got it. That thing. Okay,
Northwestern
just
European.
checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm a racist if that's what racism means, that I'd rather my kids
Okay.
marry people
You don't
similar
know
to
that that's-
us.
Okay, I don't consider that to be racist.
But some do.
Well,
That's my point.
Some do. But
do I have-
I suppose.
Do you, do you feel guilty
wait,
about that?
Who
No.
does?
Do
Who
I want to
does?
go kill people that are of a different race? Absolutely not. Do I want to hinder their progress? Absolutely not. So there can be somewhere in between that says, I see color, I see ethnicity, I see gender, but that doesn't mean that I'm a racist or or
Wait a second. You're not offended by it,
sexist.
doesn't it? Doesn't bother you.
What?
You see it, but it doesn't bother you.
No, some people said that you even see it
Yeah.
is the ism, whatever it is you're seeing.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people say I don't see it. For instance, like
Then
I
they're
don't-
just being untrue.
well, okay, that's good. Good, interesting. You say that because I walked down the street and I don't like notice there's a black guy there.
Right.
I don't know if that's untrue. It doesn't occur to me.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not. He's a black guy. Oh
There's-
shit.
there's
I don't notice a
interactions-
Mexican. Like it doesn't.
No,
like,
there's interactions where you will notice the difference. If a guy speaks to you in a different language, will you immediately assume that he's just another guy?
yeah.
Or will you assume that this guy might be from a different country, from a different culture?
No, I kind of think he's just another dude. Like if he's people speak Spanish to me, right? They'll try because they don't speak English. Like okay, he doesn't speak English.
He's another human being. I
Like,
get that.
I'd be like, no habla español.
But
it's
do you
like, cool.
share significant cultural background?
I
Or do you not even, that
It doesn't
even
occur to
register?
me because
Right, it
you're
doesn't.
just in the life. In life, it doesn't occur to you, right?
Okay,
Guys
so-
speaking Spanish, you're like, cool. I don't really understand, but if I can help him, I'd like to help him. Right?
Yeah, I mean, on a human-to-human level,
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
totally, right.
But are we different in some regard? Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got different backgrounds.
Sure.
Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I did-
So you're a racist.
I appreciate. No, but I love our differences.
Yeah, I didn't say
Like,
I didn't
I
love
wanna-
them. I love them too.
No, because it's beautiful. It's what makes our country beautiful. Is that we're different.
Absolutely.
Like-
This is the country where I get to be friends with. Look, growing
I
up.
mean, I'd be pissed if I can't go to Chicken and Waffles anymore because they got rid of it because it has some like racist
no,
connotation.
the food's there, just the
I'm
name's
just
changed.
like, I'm not joking. You think I'm joking?
Maybe.
This is
But
like,
look, I grew up with friends that were from a variety of different ethnicities. They were, and to this day, they're my friends.
yeah.
Right, and I trust them with my life.
But do they call you racist?
No, but do I recognize that they come from a different background? Absolutely, they do too.
Does it matter?
No,
Right.
but
So it
recognition
doesn't
of some-
bother. So what you're saying, it doesn't bother you that people call you racist. So you're like, sure.
if they understand what racism means in that context. But if they mean
Wait,
I
wait,
hate
wait, wait,
people of another
Wait a
race,
second. You don't get to find out what it means in a context. People are saying it all over TV.
yeah, no, that's not the racist I want to hear myself being described as.
Okay. So is it offensive?
Of course it is. Because they're presupposing that I have an opinion about them that is not true.
That's negative. And usually when somebody says they're racist,
Negative.
that means they're assuming that you have animus or a negative
Correct.
negative feeling against somebody of a different color.
Correct. Or
a
ethnicity.
culture or ethnicity. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So, because to me it's kind of offensive, right? You wouldn't,
Of course it is.
like, I don't think you fix racism. Let's for sure say, I don't think you fix racism by calling somebody racist.
Certainly not.
Well, no, sometimes it's important to call it out if it's real. If someone is being racist,
So you just,
then it's important to call it out.
And there are people
Okay,
who
so-
are racist.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you just call. Is that going to wake people up then? It'll wake them up. So let me just get with you. Right, let's unpack that a second.
Okay.
So if you're really racist,
Meaning,
we should call it out.
Meaning I hate somebody
You
and
really
I
do.
wish them ill.
Right. So you
Yeah.
should call it out. Like, let's take the small percentage. Let's just say it's not as big because there's people like you that are racist, but you don't hate people. You're just racist. What can I tell you? Okay, that's fine.
I recognize that there are
So
different
the
races.
real racist, like a white supremacist, full-on
The ones that
racist,
wanna hurt
right?
somebody.
And like, I'm Jewish, so that's clearly not me because I'd be on the opposite side. I'd be on the losing end of that deal.
Right.
I'm Jewish.
Do I recognize that Bob's Jewish? Yeah. Does that make me an anti-Semite? No. I mean,
L'chaim.
let's be real. L'chaim, man.
Right.
I mean, he's a good friend.
I am
just
to life.
I'm just saying, there is nothing you can call a real white supremacist that is going to wake them up and change their opinion, right?
Okay.
Call it out all you want.
Well, maybe not
they're not
calling
gonna
it
be like,
out.
you're a racist, and they're like, I know. They're like, we should
caught me.
we should go to therapy. You know, like, okay, and then you take everyone else, like you call them a racist, and they're offended.
True.
Because it's offensive to the senses.
Yep.
So are you really changing racism by calling people racist?
Not if you call everybody. You're diluting the value of that word, the effect of that word. It's like everybody that
So-
looks at a woman is now a rapist.
So are
Okay.
people diluting the value of that word?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, some people are.
Well, the ones that
But it's being used more than I've ever heard it ever
Yeah.
used before.
Yeah, but it's not being used universally.
What do you mean?
It's being used by people who are. It is not being used by. It's not being used universally, meaning not all people.
you mean the left?
Well, it's being used by the left.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look.
Okay,
there-
so what's the utility of that?
when-
Keeping them on
when
the
a-
plantation?
If a black cop kills a white person, do you see 50,000 people marching down Madison Avenue?
Of
Give
course
it,
not.
keep it going the way it is. You may,
Well, I don't know. I mean,
because what you're doing is you're polarizing people.
of course.
So like,
That's-
if that's the way you're going to keep looking at me, then I'm going to start doing this.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I
so
don't-
obviously it keeps people in line. From a political standpoint, it keeps people in line. Because if you keep people paranoid, then
Yeah, oh,
everybody's
yeah.
out to get them.
If that's what you mean by keeping them
Then,
in line, yeah.
then they ain't black if they don't vote one way, right? I
Right.
mean, that gets back to the same mentality of
Joe
you got to
Biden.
keep them believing everybody, the man's trying to keep you down, and it's like the other side. It's really you have to have an enemy. So they keep you focused on the enemy, so you don't open your heart and find the common ground with the other side. Because God forbid we actually had a conversation in this country.
we don't.
God forbid they realized that somebody had a heart that they didn't have a political view shared with, right? Holy cows. That's a threat to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
This conversation would be a threat to them. Anyway.
It's a sad state of affairs when what's made this country so great is that we all got along. And now that's all being used. Our differences are being used to split us apart. I think that's sad.
Sad.
Yeah. So.
Well, look, I'm glad we're trying to change it and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the beginning of it. And we got to do it one by one until we're all done. And it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And the one thing I hope and thank you for coming on, the one thing I hope we can do is realize that we are all living our existence, and what's true for us is true for us, right? You and me and all the ways we all grew up. We're different. I don't know anything about how either of you grew up. I know we came from very different places. Whether everybody wants to paint you white and me white, and just to put us in a container that's the same, the reality is our existence was all quite different.
Yeah.
And our family's upbringing and what they went through is all very different. And we need to be courageous enough to not fear finding common ground. Because I don't see these conversations happening in living rooms. I don't see them happening out there. They're happening tribally between people that share each other's views in echo chambers.
But not across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not across.
Yeah.
So, petting zoo, baby. Back to the petting zoo.
The whole image is very disturbing.
Yeah, it's good. It's light petting only, folks, just to be clear. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
All right,
It was
everybody.
fun.
Thanks for joining us. We've joined. We had a great show at Pandora's Box. Thanks for opening the box together. We are now going to open it and unleash human hope, which is what we're here to do.
Amen.
Amen, baby.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers. Are we gonna do a cheers?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a little bit left in
A
here.
little left. All right. We'll
Cheers.
do whatever you got left.
Genats need.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
it.
you just get to go to bed.